I got to tell you, if you own any stock in Warner Media, you're doing quite well today. I mean, did you guys hear? This is what we have to start the show off with, because yesterday there was a gigantic announcement made, and it ties into something I've been talking about here on the show for basically the last 4 or 5 episodes now. So Warner Media announced yesterday that all of Warner Brothers' 2021 planned theatrical releases are going to be arriving the same day on HBO Max. That's right. Just like Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be doing in a few weeks' time, that's going to basically set the model for the next year on HBO Max, where all of these Warner Brothers releases will arrive in theaters and on Max the same day. And then HBO Max will have exclusive streaming rights to that movie for the entire month. So for that whole first month, you could either see it in theaters or you could see it at home on HBO Max. And then after that month, the movie will come off of the platform and then be available through more traditional means. But folks, what this basically amounts to is every 3 weeks or so, HBO Max is going to have a brand new movie, a brand new Warner Brothers film that at one point was prepped for a theatrical release is now going to be coming exclusively to HBO Max. And you know what? That makes me think about something, right? You know, there's a question people ask, right? What's in a name? What's in a name? And I feel like after all these years, we just say HBO without thinking about what HBO even means, right? It's become its own entity, its own brand, its own thing. But HBO Max stands for Home Box Office. The entire mantra of what HBO was supposed to do, what elevated it above regular cable channels, what made it such a big deal and inspired people to pay a premium monthly fee for the service for these last, 30 years, is that it is essentially bringing the theater to your home. It's the home box office. And you know what? HBO Max is essentially using its original brand identity, its original purpose for existing, its original sales pitch is now basically the best way to describe how they're pushing the entire movie industry into the future. Because when they say home box office in 2021, they absolutely mean that. And you know what? We need to talk about the movies coming out because you may not be, up on all this stuff. And thankfully I am. So as part of the things that are arriving in 2021, all right, I'm going to look at my phone here. For those of you who are watching on the YouTube show, I don't think this looks all that professional, but it's the best I could do for right now. So bear with me. But look, some of the names of the films that are coming out, all right? We're talking Godzilla versus Kong, okay? We're talking the new Mortal Kombat movie. We're talking The Conjuring, the next Conjuring movie, which my wife and I are crazy ecstatic about. We're talking about In the Heights, Space Jam, The Suicide Squad, Dune, Matrix 4. I mean, there's a lot more than that, but those are the ones that make my head explode. Okay? There are a lot of huge movies coming exclusively for the first month to HBO Max. Now, what does this make me think? First of all, this all has to circle back to what we were talking about last week. Because remember, I shouldn't say last week. I should say 2 weeks ago when we had the last new episode of the show. On the last show, I got a lot of questions because that was in the immediate aftermath of the Wonder Woman 1984 announcement. And there was a lot of questions about, how does this basically make business sense for HBO Max? How does this work? Instead of Warner Brothers getting all of this amazing box office money, now it's coming free to a streamer. So what's it going to do? And from there, I went into a whole tirade about things called ancillary benefits, things that, aren't very obvious, but they help the overall business that you're trying to build. There are little things that you can't necessarily see with your own eyes, but that help the business immeasurably. So with that in mind, one of the things that I think that this is going to achieve rather ingeniously is nobody's going to be canceling their subscription. This guarantees practically that a lot of the folks who are going to plop down their first dollars this month to get HBO Max so that they could see Wonder Woman 1984, what this means is, if you know that there's going to be another world premiere Warner Brothers picture arriving on HBO Max basically every month within 3 to 4 weeks of each other, that's going to essentially motivate you to keep the service. While you may have thought, okay, I'll just get it for 1 month and I'll check it out and I'll get to see Wonder Woman 84, as soon as you realize, oh, wait a minute, having HBO Max basically means I have a movie theater at home, because all of these movies that I would normally have to leave the house and pay premium prices for and go to a movie theater to see, I could see on my couch. So if you ask me, it's a rather genius play to have all of these films arriving in rapid succession, almost on a monthly release model, exclusively on HBO Max. That is a good way to make sure that all these people who are going to try it out in the next few weeks keep it for an entire year. And you're going to get $15 a month from each of those people all year. And guess what? Those people were unlikely to go to a movie every single month, but they're going to have your streamer every single month for that $15. And I feel like it sets them above and beyond all the other streamers, because now anyone else who tries this is just going to look like they're copying Warner Brothers. It's going to look like they're trying to catch up to HBO Max, which is funny, right? Because HBO Max, for the longest time, since its debut, people have been dogging on it. People have been saying, oh, it launched to weak numbers. They screwed the whole thing up. It wasn't available on Fire Sticks or Rokus. It was, a lot of people chastised the launch of HBO Max. And heck, I mean, I even thought it was kind of ridiculous that they didn't do a better job of marketing the fact that like HBO Now and HBO Go and HBO Max are all essentially the same price coming from the same place, but HBO Max has all this other stuff. You have a lot of people who didn't even seem to get that, didn't even seem to know that, with all of these different variations of HBO flying around. So HBO Max didn't really have the strongest launch in the world. And it's been kind of like the little engine that could behind all of the titans, like Netflix and Disney Plus and Prime Video and Hulu and all those other ones. But now they're about to move to the forefront by literally becoming the embodiment of the home box office. And it's going to make them the premium option out of all the streamers. Because all the other streamers have the same kind of typical releases. You're going to have some TV shows. You're going to have a couple of made directly for this streamer movies. And then you're going to get theatrical movies a month or two after they arrive in theaters. HBO Max is going to give you fresh, brand new, exciting, buzzworthy blockbusters the day they arrive in theaters. You cannot tell me that doesn't change the impression of what this streamer is and can and will be. So this is gigantic news. And I mean, we're living in a very different time now, movie fans. We're living in a time now where these are the kinds of decisions that the studios have to make. Isn't it nuts?